Welcome back, Magdalenes. Welcome to the extended reading. In the base reading, we saw the Nine of Swords as the overall theme of the week, activated by the Knight of Swords, with the King of Cups underneath and the Page of Pentacles as the challenge and the Ace of Swords as the path forward. So, what we're really looking at here is this moment where something matters deeply, but the nervous system is still learning how to stay steady while it unfolds. This is not the week to spiral. This is the week to understand what's actually happening underneath all of the fear. So, in this extended, we're going layer by layer. We're going to peel this onion all the way back and look at the soul lesson, the 3D reality, the emotional undercurrent, the shadow or hidden truth, timing, yes and no guidance, and where this energy is moving next. All right, so we're going to start with the council, the Oracle of the Council, which is my deck, to look into the higher frequencies of this week. This deck is going to show us what the council wants us to understand about the soul lesson moving through this whole Nine of Swords energy. All right. So, the first question, what is the higher lesson moving through this week's Nine of Swords energy? We have resurrection. The phoenix rises again. 717, solar plexus, fire orange, the path of transmutation. And so this is a rebirth moment. And your rebirth into this new life is asking you to show up differently. The stories aren't the same here. You're not the same girl that you were before this moment ever occurred. You know, there's a whole new you. And so the new you is showing up differently. And we don't have to believe the old stories anymore. So it will take time as we, we learn how to be in this new energy. Just think about like when a baby is born, they don't learn to walk and talk and do all the things on the first day that they're born. That takes time for them to learn, to get used to something new, to see how things work. And so that's what you are being asked to do here. You are in the baby, the infant process of this new life that you're living. And so you need to take it as like, I'm learning. And like, I saw something the other day. It was just like, a baby does not give up trying to learn to walk just because they fall 100 times, right? They just know eventually that because the determination is so high that I'm going to do this, that they just don't give up. And so that's what you're being asked. Even if like you have moments you feel triggered, even if you have moments where you feel panicked, even if you have moments where the anxiety gets big, it's what you do with those moments that matters more than anything now. It's like you just keep learning and growing. And okay, I see that as information. How can I adjust myself from here? What part of the Magdalene collective is being initiated or upgraded right now? We have sacred union, alchemy of two becoming one, angel number 1221, heart chakra, rose gold, sacred contracts. And I love this because it mirrors this energy right here. We are learning how to be in this divine love energy and what that actually means, what sacred partnership actually means. And so it's not the intensity, it's not the quickness, it's not all of those things that just rush you. It's the things that settle you. It's the things that there's peace, and it continues to pull you forward gently because it is in exact alignment. It's not something that you're trying to grasp to hold on to. It's just, it's there. You feel it, and the resonance is strong. What is the council asking us to remember when the fear gets loud? Divine rage, sacred fire clears the way, 911, solar plexus, crimson red, the path of transmutation. And I think it's okay to feel what you feel, to get frustrated, to have all the emotions. Let them flow through you and understand that there's something clarifying and purifying about all of it. When you just allow it to be what it is, you're not trying to hold it in, but you're acknowledging it this time, and you're not letting it run with you. You're letting it refine you. Why? Because you're now questioning, why am I feeling this, instead of just feeling it and reacting. You're pausing long enough to say, well, why is this even here to begin with? What frequency helps us stay grounded in the Ace of Swords truth? Ooh, we have Sedna, power born from pain. 808, root chakra, deep teal, the council speaks. Okay, so you're afraid of going through the same things over and over again because it nearly took you out before, right? Because that's the energy of Sedna, is just deep betrayal by every man. It's all the way from her birth. But this is the thing. Those patterns were existent from her birth. What did she do with all of the pain that was given to her? She created a whole new life, a whole beautiful new world, under the sea. Just the depths of emotions were just like released in beauty instead of pain. And that's what you're being asked right now, is not to hold on to the pain so that you never have to experience it again. What are you going to do with it? The growth that it gave you, because that's what it gave you, is a lot of growth, a lot of learning yourself, a lot of seeing your own patterns. And so what are you going to do with that now? What is being completed or graduated from this week? We have Catalyst, the spark that starts it all. 111, sacral chakra, orange, sacred contracts. The catalyst has already happened. And so you're already in the new timeline. This isn't something like, there's not something new that's going to hit. This isn't like a tower waiting to happen. It already happened, and it shifted you into a whole new trajectory. And so that's the thing that we need to, trust, that we're already there. We're just in that infant stage of it. Okay. So that gives us the soul level message. Now let's bring it down to the human layer and look at what this actually looks like in the day-to-day. So we're going to pull from Wisdom of the Oracle to look at the practical lived experience of this energy. What are we actually seeing, feeling, responding to, or being asked to navigate in real life? All right, so the first question is, what is happening in the 3D this week that is triggering the 9 of Swords? And we have go the distance. You want this so bad. You don't want to lose. You want this to work so bad. And that's like, because the Page of Wands brought in this joy that you hadn't experienced. This is again, it's the instant gratification. Nobody says you're not getting there. Nobody says, but it's like the ice cream after dinner. Eat your dinner first. You eat the healthy things first, and then you get the reward. Okay. And it's like not the other way around. The reward doesn't come before you do the healthy things first. Okay. What is the tangible seed represented by the Page of Pentacles? We have a fork in the road. So, and there's 13 energy. This is transformation. This situation is changing, and it's coming to a decision point. If you leave it alone, do not force the decision point. Let the decision come to you. Where are we being asked to stop forcing and allow the process to unfold? We have community. So you cannot force this to become bigger than it is, quicker than it can. And it's like, you cannot force connection. You have to let it naturally happen. And you've already started, and you've just got to let it kind of like do what it will naturally. I keep coming to that word because that's what is being asked right now, is allow things to open up naturally. You don't have to force this. Just because you don't see it instantly doesn't mean it's not already happening. It just comes in, layers and waves. And it's like this. So I get like this so slow spreading energy. So it starts here with you, and then it's just like every little change you make just continues to spread out into your greater community area. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. You just need to allow it to happen naturally. What is the most aligned way to respond to mixed signals or uncertainty? We have soulmates. All right. So this is just remember the bond. You feel the bond, you know the bond. And I think it comes back to this energy here too. I think I might have called that the Two of Cups earlier. That's the lovers, but it comes back to what you know about divine partnership, what you know about soulmates. And we know that not all soulmates are the same, but this is really talking about this type of soulmate, the divine partnership kind of soulmate. And I come back to the Ace of Swords with this in the know what you know, hold to what you know. Don't let the spiral, you know what this connection is, or you wouldn't be, this activated by it. So just let it be what it is without, forcing things right now. What does the collective need to understand about divine timing this week? We have observer. It just keeps coming back to that. You're not forcing this thing, you're watching it. You're seeing how things line up. And you can't force divine timing anyways. Divine timing is literally about alignment. The minute things click into place, then it's in place. So you can't force this energy. You just have to allow like the uncomfortable feelings to come up, not let them run off with you. Understand why they're happening, but make sure that you're controlling the story that you are allowing that to tell you. Okay. Now that we've looked at what's happening in the outer world, let's go into the emotional layer, because the base reading showed us the King of Cups underneath all of this. So there are big feelings here, but the assignment is emotional mastery. All right, so Heart's Hidden Secrets is going to help us understand what the heart is really carrying this week, what's being felt beneath the surface, and what longing, fear, hope, or vulnerability is moving underneath the mind spiral. All right, so what is the heart truly feeling beneath this Nine of Swords energy? Whew, lusting. So you've been activated. Yes. There's a song. Oh gosh, I'm not going to remember who sings it. Dry Spell. It's a country music song, and that's what I feel from this. So I'm going through a dry spell. Don't let that piece rush you, okay? Because that's where we do get ourselves messed up. Because I mean, when we get into this kind of energy, this and this really says non-committal sexual energy in it, in this card, when we get into that, when we fall into that piece, we can make this feel like it's something more deep than it is. And so that's why it's like we're managing this piece. Yes, we would love to go all in, but we don't want to overcomplicate the emotional environment, because this brings in a different type of motivation to, the whole situation for you and the other person. And so it's not necessarily moving from this motivation anymore. I'm choosing this because I know this is what I want. I'm choosing this because it feels really good and I want to feel that. And that's not how we get to healthy partnerships. And so it's a hard look at ourselves right now. That's what I'm feeling. I'm uncomfortable with this because I understand, like, I keep hearing that song and it's just like, ugh. because she's talking about sitting on the washing machine and all of that. And so, yeah, yeah. Don't let it make your decisions for you, please. Where is fear distorting what is actually happening? We have intimacy. And this is really about the depth of the bond that you actually feel here. And so, yes, there is, the sexual lusting and the natural attraction that you have, but the bond is actually real here, and that's the thing we're trying to preserve. We want the bond to be fully solidified before we complicate it with anything else. What old story is trying to attach itself to this new beginning? What old story? We have open heart, receptive, empathy, vulnerable. And I think this is the piece that okay, you don't want to close your heart off, but you do need to be more guarded with it. This is how you like when those 10 of cups moments come in, or the page of wands energy comes in, how you can get moved with it too quickly because you're so open that it's just like you just bring in the full meaning, and it's just like, I want to keep experiencing this, and it's just like you let it go right to your heart when this isn't something that needs to go directly to your heart yet. This is something you need to handle with care. Your own heart you need to handle with care. What do we need to stop feeding mentally or emotionally? We have the foundation. And this is about your security. And so, like, this is the fear of, like, what if it never happens? But you're building your own foundation right now. You're building the foundation that allows it to actually happen. And so I just think that we need to just stop spinning over, well, it doesn't look like this and it should look like this. The rules have changed. You're not living in the old ways anymore. You're not living in the old patterns. You're living in a whole new rebirth moment, and the rules have changed. And right now, you're getting stable on your own in this new before you invite extra complication and other energies into it. What truth cuts through the illusion? We have heart fog, mixed signals, blocked emotions, messed up. And I just think that the mixed signals is the piece here. Because that's the thing that I feel like gets you spinning the most is, the hot and cold, but you need to take that as its answer itself. When someone is sending mixed signals, it means that they don't know. They're not trying to confuse you. They are confused. And so if you try to force clarity from someone who's confused, you're going to get confused and you're going to make them frustrated, and it's not going to be a good experience. And so just when you see the mixed signals, just know, okay, it doesn't mean this person doesn't care. It means this person doesn't know how they really feel yet. They don't know. And so that's why it's important to not force and to just allow this to come to you naturally. Because if you try to force it before somebody is out of this space, you're just going to keep, you're going to feel frustrated. They're going to feel frustrated, and you're not going to get to the answers that you're actually wanting. Okay. Now we're going deeper into the shadow layer, because anytime the Nine of Swords shows up, we have to ask, is this present moment truth, or is this an old wound trying to narrate our future? We're going to use the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot to look at the distortion, the shadow, or the strange little gremlin voice that may be trying to pull us back into old fear. This deck is perfect for showing us where the mind is exaggerating, projecting, or creating monsters out of uncertainty. Okay, so what is the shadow pattern that is being activated this week? We have Conjurer, abilities creation, and deception. And so this is the magician energies. This is what this feels like. And so it's like trying to force the outcome, trying to control the outcome. Just because you know how to do this doesn't mean the other person is ready for this experience. And so you cannot control the outcome. You can't. In fact, you shouldn't try to control this outcome. You should, again, let it show you what it already is trying to become on its own. You don't have to force this to become anything. It's already trying to become it if you will just leave it alone and let it do what it's doing. Where is fear distorting what is actually happening? We have the King of Swords, powerful person, a teacher, harsh lessons. And harsh lessons feels, but it's the logic mind. And this can be very black and white thinking. And so you have lived a life where certain things meant certain things, and you've had to be on guard, to protect yourself or whatever from all of these things. And so now then that's almost like the thing that is tripping you up now is that you have such certainty that this means this, just because of all the patterns that you've been through before, that in this new timeline, no, that's not exactly what that means. And you won't know what it means until you allow it to show you what it actually means. So silence can mean rejection in the old timeline, but in this one, it could mean someone is just processing and, working through some deeply internal things. They're trying to do something, correct here. They're trying not to rush into something again and make something, make a mess out of something before they know what, they even want or need to do with it. And so it's just, we've got to learn to let go of the old stories. Use that as, yes, that was true, but is there a possible other explanation? And can I sit in the discomfort long enough to find out if that is the truth? What old story is trying to attach itself to this new beginning? We have the Knight of Coins, schemes, business, success by cheating. The Knight of Coins, again, I just feel like this is the control. Like if I just do it right, if I say the right thing, if I do this, I show up this way, if I like, this will make it happen. And you can't make anything happen here. We're not trying to make it happen. That's what feels not good about it, is when we try to make it happen. It doesn't feel good to us, and it doesn't feel good to the other person. This is really just allowing the space to breathe and come together in that natural sense that I kept talking about. Okay. What truth cuts through the illusion? We have the Page of Birds, thoughtfulness, planning, melancholy, and pause. And so I think this is really just taking the time to pause before you react. When the anxiety rises, we're not acting in that place. We are not communicating in that place. We're not trying to solve anything when we're in this Nine of Swords energy. We're giving that space to let the feeling move through us and acknowledge that it was there. And then we want to understand, why are you here? Which comes back to the Body Speak app that I talked about in the base reading, which you can find on my website, theawakenedgen.com. Look under the activation library, and it's a download. And this is it uses AI to help kind of walk you through answering certain questions about, what you are actually experiencing in your body. And then at the end, it gives you the prescription of, this is what your body is saying to you, and this is what you need to do with it. And so this is necessary to keep you from spiraling. You've got to have something that you can do different. So your old timeline, your old way of doing things, your old patterns, when this hit you, it could send you right into a spiral of collapse. Here we're saying, no, let's work with this. Let's see what's actually trying to come up. There's a reason why I'm feeling this, so let's find out why. And so, you've got to learn how to connect back with those moments so you get the truth of the moments that are coming through. Okay. Now that we've seen the shadow, let's bring in the timeline layer because this week has such a strong graduation energy. I want to know what timeline we're stepping out of and what timeline we are actually stepping into. We're using the Time Traveler's Oracle to look at the timeline shift. What are we graduating from? What lessons have completed? What future version of us is beginning to come online? All right, so what timeline are we graduating from this week? We have adventure, the Silk Road, Inner Mongolia. So the adventure, like, okay, I'm feeling all of this. This is what we used to think relationships were supposed to feel like. It's an adventure. It's just like it moves you in this like urgency. It's like it has, some element of intensity and fear. And no, that cocktail was actually very toxic to our nervous system. And so we are moving out of that. It doesn't have to feel like adventure. Sometimes the most healthy relationships are actually, they feel very, very boring and mundane. And there's a lot of us that have had enough childhood trauma, especially if you connect with that Sedna energy at all. We've had enough childhood trauma that we have distorted what love actually feels like because we think it's supposed to, like, it chases us. It's grand declarations. No, sometimes it's literally just sitting on the couch watching TV, planning meals together, trying out new restaurants, going, just like to see what's up, just, like Sunday day drives, things like that. It's much more calm. It's just like you have your person that you just do life with, everyday life with, not the adventure of life. And I mean, life can be an adventure, but we're not seeking it in that kind of way out of our relationships anymore. We want our relationships to actually be our soft place, not the adventure part. What timeline are we stepping into? We have purification, the Ganges River, India. So, I mean, you have really done so much work. I feel like the purification already happened, and this is the integration of that. So, like, again, you're a brand new baby in this whole new timeline here. You're pure, you're innocent. You have to learn all things new, and we don't want to like taint the innocence now. So I mean, just think about, especially because I talked about that Sedna energy, childhood traumas, all of that. Think about if you could go all the way back to the actual birth moment, your actual birth moment, and reparent that child with the childhood that they deserved, how much different would you be right now? How much different would your relationships look right now? How much different do you think your whole life would look right now? That's the opportunity that this purification process that got you to this new timeline has given you. Now then you get to do it right for yourself in a way that you've never gotten to do before. You were not the one in control when you were a baby and a child. You were dependent on others, but now then you are the parent that you needed. And how are you going to show up for you now? What past version of us is being released? We have strength, Joan of Arc. Oh, love that. You don't have to be so tough. You don't have to like strong arm this thing. You don't have to brace for, like impact. You don't have to be tough anymore. This is like, we talk about soft girl era, and this is really like, it's not soft. I mean, it's like the strength has transformed into something less aggressive. And so you will stand up for yourself. You will set the boundaries. You'll do the things that you need to do. You'll honor yourself, but you also don't have to abandon yourself anymore. You don't have to be just, constantly strong. You get to relax more and breathe more, and just, you don't have to force anymore. What future self is trying to anchor through this energy? Freedom. 1963, I have a dream. I love this. And so the vision that you had for your life, you're not bound to the old anymore. You're completely free to create whatever you want now. As long as we don't unnecessarily quickly attach to things, before they are primed and ready, you have a whole new world in front of you right now. And the choices are yours. You get to decide where this thing goes. What is the significance of the completion energy around the 22nd? We have flow, the river Nile, Egypt. And the denial is over. The denial is over. You're seeing things clearly, and you're letting things just naturally flow now. You're letting them be what they are. We're not trying to construct them into, some fantasy version of anything. We're just letting them be what they are. And that's the thing that allows the energy to flow. All right. So now I want to get some direct yes and no guidance, because the base reading brought in anxiety, mixed signals, clarity, and the need to hold truth. So let's directly ask what we need to know. We're going to use the yes and no oracle for some direct confirmation. This is not about handing our power away to the cards. This is about asking for clarity around the energy that we're already seeing. All right, so is the Nine of Swords showing us fear rather than actual danger? We have no. A whirlwind of intoxicating emotions overwhelms you. This is a natural result of your commendable efforts, your unsurpassed talents for communication, your rare ability to resolve any problem. This provides you with an untouchable sense of stability and comfort. And I just get this. It's the first line here. It's the intoxicating emotions overwhelm you. You see what this could really be. That's why you're really excited about it. And so, no, this isn't fear. This is anticipation. This is excitement. But it's just again, it's for the instant gratification. And and that's why it's just the timing feels like that's the only thing that's causing any kind of anxiety here is how long it's taken to line up for you. Is the Page of Pentacles showing that something real is growing slowly? We have no. The whirlwind of events invites chaos. Fortunately, the illusory nature of the situation quickly dissipates. It is replaced by an invigorating sense of hope, an inspiring sense of inviolability, and the invulnerable sense of confidence. Troubles and obstacles strengthen you. And so maybe this is the thing that you did need to see, is it's not going to be just smooth sailing just right away. We need to see, okay, where are the problem areas at, and how do we adjust with them? And so, I think that this is not, it's not that it's not growing. I feel like, again, this is showing you, here's how you keep it healthy. And if you rush too quickly, you'll miss this part. Is the Ace of Swords asking us to trust what we already know? Yes, good news and joyful events explode into your life. It arrives like a light at the end of a dark tunnel. Hope and inspiration return for a quick resolution to the situation. Expect unusual offers to come to you, providing you with boundless good luck and world-changing achievements. Words and ideas are your greatest tools. And so, yes, this is trusting what you already know, because this is like it arrives like the light at the end of a dark tunnel. Hope and inspiration return for quick resolution to the situation. And so hold what you know, let it wait, let it show, let it reveal to you what it is and how it's responding to your energy, and then what you need to do from there. It's all going to like come together if you don't force, if you stay in this flow energy that's showing, it's still here. um is um is this week connected to a relationship or a choice that deeply matters? Yes, get ready for a series of amazing coincidences. They come from nowhere, but the result is what makes your life so sensationally rich and rare. Your special vibration attracts special events. They always have. And so, yes, it is connected to something, a relationship that deeply matters to us. And I love that it's like the coincidences, and I don't actually believe in coincidences. So I feel like this is what alignment looks like, but it comes in the form of serendipity. And so it's just like when you stop forcing, you start seeing like what's real. You start seeing the natural alignment of things. And I think that that's what I'm feeling from this. It's just the force alone was keeping it from flowing. Are we being asked to stay present instead of forcing a conclusion? Yes, you are reborn from the ashes. The unexpected completion of a previous stage and your openness to everything new gives you incredible luck, empowerment, and the generous rewards of destiny. You will be the center of attention for some time to come. Enjoy your accomplishments. They couldn't have happened without you. And so I love that. Um, so you're being reborn from the ashes because the old you would have absolutely forced for clarity, forced for something, forced for like, and the new you is saying, you know what, I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust that I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. And I'm going to, deal with what's in front of me right now. I'm going to treat it, like if it's fun, joyful, let it be fun and joyful without it needing to be anything more until it has proclaimed itself that it is something more. And then you can, sort of shift into this anchoring. But right now we're not in the anchoring. Right now we're still in just the letting it just kind of naturally like form into something. This is something that's literally trying to manifest that is not fully manifested yet. And so it's like you can feel it in the field. That's why you are just like, that's why that energy is there. You feel it, it's possible, it's coming, but the full manifestation needs time, to come to full fruition. Okay. So now let's look at some timing, because if this is a seed, if this is a threshold and graduation point, we want to know when this starts to settle, when clarity comes in, and when the next movement begins. We're going to use the Tell Me When Oracle to look at how this energy may unfold. Timing is always fluid, but this gives us a sense of the rhythm of the week and what windows may matter. All right. So what does the Nine of Swords when does the Nine of Swords energy begin to settle? We have when your heart heals. And so this is, you're in the process now of working through this. And so, yes, you may still get triggered. Yes, you may still have like, this anxiety feeling, but you're starting to reframe it. You're starting to sit with it a little bit longer without it needing to be resolved. Not everything needs to be resolved just because you feel it right now. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It's just you feel it and you can acknowledge that. When does the Ace of Swords clarity become more obvious? We have after you apologize. And I feel like that this is one of those, you apologize to yourself for, just the behaviors and patterns that you developed just for your safety. I don't feel like this is an apology to somebody outside of you. I feel like this is an apology to yourself for not knowing the patterns before you actually knew them. When do we see movements with the Page of Pentacles seed? This weekend. You are not waiting long. You are not waiting long. It's coming in fast. When does the Lover's energy become clearer and more grounded? And we have in time for their birthday. So this is going to be different for each one of you. But to me, I also feel like they're going through their own rebirth moment too. So this may not be a technical birthday here. This may be their own rebirth moment as well. Because if you're renewed, and especially if it's someone, it's a past connection, they need to be renewed too. So I feel like this is more about their own rebirth moment when that happens. What timing window is most important for the Magdalenes this week? We have as soon as you take action. And so this is not completely passive. There are things that you can do, but the action that you're doing is about regulating your own nervous system, about really holding to the standards, holding to what you know. So you've got your own parts and pieces to do, but it's not actions to force, connection. It's not actions to force anyone outside of you to do anything. This is what are you going to do for yourself as you feel these things coming up, as you're sitting in these energies, as you're waiting for, this to, come into full manifestation and fruition. How are you going to, what are you doing in those moments? So now we've gone through the soul layer, the human layer, the emotional layer, the shadow layer, the timeline layer, the direct guidance and timing. I want to pull one more thing before we start closing out this energy, and this is the activation card for the week. So let's see what the activation energy is this week. Okay. Okay. The wild grace of the unpredictable reveals new directions that I trust and recognize as the way for happiness and divine fruition. I love it. Look at the shapes and the colors that are on this card and just repeat to yourself again. The wild grace of the unpredictable reveals new directions that I trust and recognize as the way for happiness and divine fruition. And I love that it ends in this divine fruition. And because that's what we've been waiting for. And you can trust this. It's the unpredictable reveals the new direction. This isn't something that you're meant to predict. It's something that you're meant to experience. Okay, Magdalenes. This week is not about panicking because something feels uncertain. This week is about realizing that uncertainty does not automatically mean danger. You are graduating from the version of you that needed chaos to confirm connection, urgency to confirm movement, or immediate proof to confirm that something was real. This is a week of emotional maturity. The seed has been planted. The truth is available. The question now is whether you can stay grounded long enough to let things grow naturally. If this reading resonated, make sure that you come back to next week for the Magdalene frequency forecast because we're going to keep following this energy as it unfolds. You can also find my tools like the Body Speak app, resources, and current offerings at my website, theawakenedgen.com. This is also where you can book your one-on-one session with me, sign up for my newsletter, and you receive a free intuition versus overthinking download. And so you definitely want to take advantage of that. Other than that, thank you so much for being here with me in this extended reading. Let's take a deep breath. and come back to your truth. And remember, you do not have to rush the thing that is already meant for you. Just let it take root. See you next time, Magdalenes.